and everything that I have afterwards is zeros. If I lose this, then I have nothing. You know, so you have to, in a sense, put yourself first, and not in a selfless way, but in a it's really selfless, because you're not just doing it for you. You know, you're doing it for the other people in your life. If you're the best person you can be, they can only benefit by it. Sounds like an army saying. Be all you can be. You know, but it's so true. You have to give yourself 100%. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to give anybody else anything.
I remember the feeling of that we rocked the boat in Brentwood. You know, going to the school. It was a great feeling. It's like we stirred something up.
I was the only one of my friends that wanted to go to Maslow. My crew that I hung out with. You know, and I'm still friends with most of those people today.
And you still have to fight with them about it, right?
No, you know, they were like, yeah, there's where you want to go, all right, see you later. You know, they pretty much kind of accepted it, but still in all, it was just strange. Like, yeah, you want to go there? Yeah, but it was different. It was, like you said, rocking the boat. It was rocking the boat. It was being different. You know, I wasn't sure if it was for the attention's sake or what, but it was different.
Well, just to shake up the status quo, I think is a good thing.
Well, what made you decide to go there?
Bored. Complete and utter boredom. Complete and utter boredom.
This school was like a prison. I don't know what it's like now. But then I remember there was, you know, security guards. There was Mrs. Dick with the stick, remember? Walking around. I mean, you were like invisible here. I hated this place. And there was something different where you could. It looked like it was like a community, and where you could do things like read poetry and not be looked upon as some strange person. So I had started to rebel, and that was the right place for me to go.
What else was there for us to do in high school? I think pretty much we'd accomplished all that we could
Oh, and
accomplish.
the kinds of classes they had.
Classes that we could take, the credits
yeah, the
we could
music
take.
classes and you know, different things that we could take there that we couldn't take here. It wasn't the same old stuff. I mean, I did have some really good teachers in this school, at the high school. But the whole structure of it was not human.
I think the whole humanization concept too helped me in college. You know, I lived in Brentwood. I guess we moved here when I was 4 years old. The people I knew here were the people I knew. That was it. You know, and then when I got to Maslow, all of a sudden it was Ross meets Sonderling. You two came from Sonderling, so who knew you? You know, and it was
that was fun, kind of meeting.
Yeah, it was being with other people in Brentwood and really experiencing what the rest of the community was like. I mean, I had heard rumors about what people from Sonderling were like, but never really knew them. You know, because I guess kids from Ross were considered like the poor schnooks, and then the Sonderling kids were the more the Brentwood Parkway, upper crust. I mean, these were the rumors that were being told to me, but I never dared go through that hall to see what the people from Sonderling were like. I had no reason to. You know, so I was a little caught off guard when I met people like you and Seth and Sue.
You know, it was funny, when I was a little kid, we lived in one part of Brentwood, and if we had stayed there, I would have gone to the Ross building. So when we got to Maslow, I saw people that I had known in elementary school that I hadn't seen for a long time.
Oh, yeah, me too, because the junior high split up. It's from grammar school, you either went to north and east or south and west, something like that. And when I got to Maslow, I saw kids from grammar school that I had.
That was the other thing too. It brought people that were supposed to be separate together. I mean, years ago, I remember hearing about all the fights there were between Ross and Sonderling kids. And then I used to hear about racial stuff. I guess it was like the late 60s, early 60s. There was always fights up at the high school. It was always race-related. And I remember just looking around saying, but how can that be? These are the people that I grew up with. And when I got to the high school, it wasn't any of this race stuff. It was Ross versus Sonderling. We were better than you. And then we all got together at Maslow, and it goes back to, again, the community. You know, but none of us thought which school we came from once we got there. We were at Maslow. That's all that mattered.
I want to find out who you are. I don't know, Lauren, what you're doing these days.
No, I'm out in Brookhaven.
Well, that's right, yes.
I'm a nurse. I'm working part-time on the weekends. And I got married at 27. I just had a baby, and I have a 2.5-year-old. And that's what I'm doing. Waiting for a house to be built in East Quogue.
Billy Joel and thing.
That's what Billy Joel is?
Yeah.
I thought it was out in my talk.
No, he's caught.
I just want to backtrack a minute on something you said. You said something about there was no race thing, and I beg to differ on that. I think that there were still racial tensions in the high school. I agree with that.
Well, there, I don't remember it. Maybe
I mean,
I'm
it
just
may not have
oblivious.
been, it may not have been, I too also had heard before I was in the high school about racial riots and stuff. What truth there was to that, I don't know. But I think Brentwood was a segregated community. You know, there were white areas of Brentwood and there were black areas of Brentwood and Hispanic areas of Brentwood.
But I'm just talking about the high school itself, like,
Yeah, but I think because of the segregation in the community, there was segregation in the high school. You had groups of people that
Yeah, they didn't mix a lot,
associate.
yeah.
I remember people used to question me because I used to hang out at the rap room. And friends of mine used to say, why are you hanging out there? There's all like black and Hispanic people there. So I was hanging out there because people that were there I became friends with. But there were a lot of people who were scared to go into that room because they saw black and brown skin.
see, I don't remember there being the tensions that I feel now. You know, yes, there were groups, but the groups didn't converge on each other for turf's sake. Like, we're the ruling group, we're better than you, that kind of thing. We lived in our own little groups peacefully, and if there was a fight between a black kid and a white kid, it was because they had a disagreement. Not that one was black, one was white, and they wanted to see who was the better.
Yeah, but what I question is whether it was the same thing and we just heard rumors then because we weren't there then. When you were talking about when you heard about racial riots, maybe it was the same thing then.
See, I don't remember
That it was,
I'm sorry.
you know, that it was individuals that were having a disagreement.
Maybe it's because of the situation I'm in now, but I don't remember the tensions and the differences
No, I don't either.
being as obvious as they are to me now.
Well, even in society, they're
And
more
there were
obvious.
girls, Patty the McGriffs right next to you, that were older, that were in Brentwood, and that's where we heard all these horrible stories, getting stabbed in the bathroom and everything like that. And it was because we knew older kids that went.
I just remember growing up and really liking Brentwood because of the mix. I had black friends, I had Hispanic friends. And I just remember feeling really happy as a child with my school. You know, and when Maslow came around, I was ready for it because I'd experienced everything I was going to experience here. I'd done it all, you know, as far as high school goes. And this was just, at the time when I first thought of it, something to do, something different, you know, and then, you know, again, feeling that community and not seeing differences. And I think that's what I miss today. The kids look at each other and that's all they see is the differences. I don't know, maybe I'm talking crazy, but I don't remember looking at a black person in high school and thinking negative. It was just another person walking down the hall because I never had a problem with races and cultures. But now kids today have problems with not just the colors, because you can have 5 black people in a room and one's from one country, one's from another, and they can't stand each other. It's gone beyond seeing people for people. I guess that's what I'm saying we had then, you know. And again, we were more mature. You saw beyond the skin colors when you went to the rap rooms. You know, and we saw beyond the skin colors when we went to Maslow. Like,
I guess I don't really buy that.
I don't know. See, that's like
a little too idealistic for me. But I mean, I think it was there. You know, maybe it was just a little subtler. And in some ways, I see it the opposite. Like maybe I'm not in the thick of it as much as you are.
yeah.
But I'm involved in this mentoring program in Brentwood Middle School, North Middle School. And seeing the kids there, I see that it seems like more interracial socialization than I recall, for me at that age, what I saw going on around me. I mean, it seems, I have the opposite experience of what you're saying that your experience is, which is kind of strange. But again, my contact is more limited too. But don't have such a rosy picture of what it was like then. I think that it was segregated and there were tensions, and maybe it wasn't out there, maybe
Maybe I was just lucky
it
enough to
was
be oblivious
real.
to it. I don't know, maybe I was just lucky enough to be oblivious to it. I wish I could be oblivious to it now because it's seeping into every aspect of my life and it's very scary, and I hope they have more programs like what you're talking about.
Well, thank you, one and all, for being here and for lending your voice to this effort. Where it's going, I have no idea, but it's been, and it continues to be a noble experience. And I thank you all for being a part of it, and I invite you back. And I hope, by the way, that we can all, if you can't get to other sessions, I know maybe Lauren, you can get back for next week, and Mike, you can get back for next week.
Next week.
Okay.
I'm not opening mine
But
now.
if you can come back at some other time, maybe even the last one, we'll get as many people from our class as we can to come back on May 5th. That way we'll set